Welcome back. Oh, shit. The cameras are all off. I don't know what happened.
Hmm?
Emergency alert. The cameras are all off. What happened? Oh, God. No, they're still... Oh, because Anosh's camera isn't on. That's why. All right. We're saved. We're good. Everything's fine. Let's do introductions. Yeah. No, there's no problem. Anosh, how are you doing today? No problems?
No problems. Just gonna be super tired. Hopefully not falling asleep. I've been awake all night, and it's 5:30 a.m. over here.
You
So I'm
party
gonna
hard,
be
my
really
friend.
charged in the beginning of the session, and then I don't know what's gonna happen.
Excellent.
Well, get yourself some caffeine during the halftime break.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that for sure.
Anosh, you're way too cool for the show, man. Erik, how are you doing?
I'm feeling pretty darn good this week. Sort of three things kind of happened. So, took the bar exam on Tuesday, Wednesday. So happy to be done with that shit. I have final confirmation that I'm getting to go on a road trip in 2 weeks to go pick up my puppy. So that's also happy news. And I got a notice from a journal I'd been waiting on for a while that they accepted my one of my law school articles for publication. So all happy news.
Excellent. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to be creepy. I was just... for some reason. Alright, cool. Kai, how are you doing this week?
Good. Pretty much nothing has happened. I have been doing pretty much nothing.
I can echo that.
No Kingmaker or anything?
Not today. It was, I remember last week I mentioned that we'd be off for 2 weeks, so...
Okay.
Nothing of note.
Alright, cool. So let's see here. We got some things to resolve off of last time. Now, Sasha, did you take a major wound?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
always take a
you
major wound.
still have a lot of hit points missing, correct?
Decent amount. Yeah, I'm at 13 out of 40.
Yeah, so you get your healing rate on every Sunday. Just remember that.
No, because of he failed the Chiruguri.
Oh,
He's
right.
losing hit points every
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no, he hasn't had anyone perform chirurgery on him.
And
He's had people do first aid on him. but
Which I have the
no
chance to get a
chirurgery.
chirurgery before the hit point loss
Yeah.
comes in. Plus, I'm not
Oh,
worried
yeah,
about
so...
You have to get before Sunday,
Well,
though, or you start
Yeah,
dying. slowly.
we'll get to
start
that.
dying.
Yep.
I do need you to roll on the shock table, because you get a little older as a result of failing to win the battle.
Sasha's gonna die of age,
You
for
get
sure.
older twice, just in
Yeah.
that battle.
Did
It
you
says a
already do the
D6
one
or-
for the major wound?
2d6.
Yeah.
Yeah, he already did that one.
Is it 2d6?
Yep, 2d6. 8. Okay, no stats affected.
Beautiful.
Good.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna have to adjust the cameras in a minute. Let's see here. Where are my notes? History. There we go. Okay. Sasha, you get 50 glory for that battle. Aidwall, you get 80 glory.
Wait, only 80? I thought you said there was
no,
like
I
50
wrote
for
wrong.
each
It's
person.
Marcus. It's Marcus. Marcus gets 80, Aidwall gets 130, and Corin gets 100.
Had all those crits.
Yeah, but those crits were in solo combat, not in a battle. There were only really 2 battle rounds. That's why I
Wait.
had to...
Really?
Yeah.
No, but every round was part of the battle.
Every round... That was just a duel between you and some other guy.
No, it was part of the battle. Everyone was fighting at the same time.
Right. And there, your section of the battle were 4 duels you guys were fighting.
Makes sense.
So that was just that was literally in a battle, that skirmish would have been just 1 round. You weren't fighting, every round a different series of enemies. Okay, so as you retreat, which I'm assuming you do, you are joined by Anosh's new temporary character, Alex Default, of the default family. He's a very vanilla knight.
Yes, he is.
Pertones, the sage, student, sage, professor that you're with, brings you the following information. They are turning Oxford into an armed camp. They being the family of knights who you've basically slain.
So the remaining brother is.
Indeed. There are 25 knights, 40 armsmen, 200 peasants, 30 squires, and 10 pages available. The city walls have a defense rating of 5-3 with siege 4, and the castle has a defense rating of 5-3 with a siege of 4 as well. So, what would you guys like to do?
So
I thought the pillaging thing was pretty good.
Time
yeah,
to capture smaller manors.
yeah. Go since all their knights are stuck inside the city of Oxford. Why don't we go take their manors?
So again,
Of
how do
those
you want
that
to
are
deal with
against
that with having to heal Sasha at the same time?
So we
Yeah,
know.
he's dying.
Well, in that case, why don't our first action be we know generally. So we have the knights from Ridichan who are our allies and
Yes.
who possibly know where the Countess is.
Indeed.
Um,
Those
perhaps
are 10
we-
knights from Ridichan.
yeah, so we talk to them. We go to the location the Countess is, offer to escort her back, and presumably amongst her or her ladies in waiting, there's some women who know chirurgery.
Okay. That's something you can assume. The knights, you're going to have to make a check of some kind to convince them to take you to the Countess Ridichan.
What sort of check?
Well, how do you want to go about doing it?
You guys have any thoughts?
So we're trying to find the Countess.
I
that they
suppose it would be. We could try a courtesy roll to try and convince them to take us.
I think it would,
Sort of thing. Or
from what you're trying to aim for, just from what you literally said right there, it sounds more like honor. I don't know that courtesy would have much to do with it.
honor is like a passion roll, right?
Yeah, but you could make a passion to be like, man, we must do
I
this.
will-
Take back your county.
I'll make a honor passion roll.
Okay.
I auto succeed.
Okay. You want to roll for it?
It's rolling. I don't know why it's taking so long to actually do it. There.
All right. Yeah. Impassioned by your flame, the leader of the Ridicanian Knights, his name is Sir Pestis, agrees to lead you to the location he believes the Countess Ridichan is from the last time he spoke with her. It has been some time. And again, that is the city of Uffington, which is, well, you can see right here on the map. So, for those at home, Uffington is up here near Whitehorse. And if you're wondering, you're currently closer to up here, up the Thames. So it's going to be about half a day's ride to get there. As you go, there are a number of peasants heading in either direction along the roads. Some are heading towards Oxford, and others are heading away. Many of them are carrying a lot of possessions for traveling peasants. You see lots of tools on their back and big sacks of food. Any wagons you see are completely loaded with animals.
Probably a good idea to raid these. Or to
Maybe
stop
an
them.
intrigue roll to figure out what they're. To try and convince them to actually tell us what they're doing.
Okay. Sure. Who'd like to make those rolls?
I like to make it. Oh, yes.
Crit.
I know everything.
I would probably make
Yeah,
one.
why don't you mark a check for intrigue if you don't have one?
All is known.
Okay, so Corin, how are you approaching your intrigue?
I'm probably asking random peasant, where are you going with all these food? How have you gotten all these items? Has someone raided your manor?
So, when you say something like that, a rather well-to-do merchant, you can tell that he's not wearing the dingy work clothes of a random peasant, but nor is he dressed as finely as a lord. He is simply a man wearing newish clothing. Doesn't look like he's worked a day in his life. Kind of got fat, flabby arms and a thick, round belly. And he pulls you aside off the road and like leads your horse away and says, "Good sir, what is it you wish to know about our travels?"
I wish to know why you are traveling with so much food.
Have you
and
not
so
heard the
much
word? They
What is
say
it?
that knights are to do battle at Oxford. The peasants are all going to where their filial lords have called them. Some travel to the Countess and her banded armor at Uffington, while many travel to their new filial lords, the Sir Basil of Oxford. And who are we to choose who our lords are? We have simply pledged allegiance through the chains of fealty.
Where are you headed?
This is I and my kin are headed to Oxford.
Very well then. I probably leave him alone after that.
Okay, yeah. He hops back in his cart with like dozens of pigs in the back, and it's just like, yeah! And like two more wagons of his come up behind him and continue rolling, and as you leave, he tips his hat towards you.
I'm probably going to
Sasha,
discuss raiding them with others.
Sasha, how are you
Seems
approaching your intrigue?
unwise to
I'd
let
probably
them
talk
stock
to
up behind the walls.
someone on the road as well, the same way he did, but
Okay.
a little bit more pained, kind of hunching over on my horse, and I don't really seek any more information. I probably wouldn't. In hindsight, asking questions is probably not what I would be doing right now anyway.
Okay, so yeah, you're just looking very out of place and pained on your fancy horse with your brightly polished armor and your intensely filthy clothes and your horrible wounds about
Yeah.
you. And a young woman approaches you and says, "My lord, you seem like the kind of man who needs bread and information."
Well, one of those things we have, but the other we could seek if you know
She says,
anything.
"I can provide both, but a simple denarii."
I'll give her 2, but say no bread.
Okay.
No bread.
She says, "What is it you'd like to know, my lord?"
A lot of people are apparently heading to the town of Oxford.
"Oh, I am not
Other-
going there. They say that the lord there is a horrible man, enraged at the slaughter of his brother by some bandit knights in the hills. I am heading to the Countess at Uffington. We shall be safe there behind her walls, guarded by God."
You said the Countess. Sorry. The Countess what?
Countess.
Chan.
The Countess of
The one we're
Ridichan.
looking for.
Yep.
Okay. You know where she is then?
Yes, they say that the Countess Bledry, she is in Uffington.
She's in Uffington. Do you know exactly where she is there, or are you just heading there to be in the same area she is?
I'm afraid I only know what the others tell me.
What did the others tell you?
They say that she is in Uffington. Perhaps at the castle you might find her.
Thanks, I guess.
She sees you like holding your wound on your shoulder in, and she's like, "Are you sure you would not have this bread, my lord?"
No, it's fine. We have plenty.
Right. So she, she ties her ponytail back and then just continues walking along the road with the other travelers. Doesn't look back at you.
So Arthur Default will try it. Well, Alex Default? What's his name?
Alex Default.
Alex. So Alex will approach the young lady.
Okay. She turns and says, "My lord, perhaps bread, or is it information you're looking for?"
It is neither. It is aid. You see, my lord, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name. My lord Sasha has sustained grave injuries in battle. Would you by chance know someone who would be able to provide medical chirurgery assistance to him?
She says,
Or would you have such skill?
I do not have this skill, but a woman from my village, the wise woman, is but a few hours' ride ahead of us. You are on horses, good lords. If you were to ride ahead, you could find her. She wears a very distinctive green shawl. You will know it, because it has the patterns of the pagan gods in it. She is a follower of the triple goddess, and you can be assured that her touch is almost magical.
Alex will just nod and toss her denarii. Say, thank you. And he'll ride off and let the others know about this.
She holds up like this crusted piece of bread and is like, "Are you sure you don't want the bread?" And she ride away. And she stuffs it in her pack and then says, "What a strange bunch of knights. I've never known men to turn down bread." And she continues on into her own spin-off show.
Can we start playing as not regular peasants now?
You could, but it would be a rough life, man.
Alright, well, shall we start riding forward then?
Wait, I just want to say, there's a game where you can actually do that. It's called Burning Wheel, where you can actually just play as regular peasants going about your lives, trying to live. And it's just the same as Pendragon. You only get better by using your skills. You have to, it's like a mix of Pendragon and Skyrim. You have to use your skills multiple times and complete tasks of certain difficulty before you advance them. So before you mock it, yeah, you can live life as a peasant. It's fun. Gotta bake that bread. Alright, so what's the plan?
I think our first priority is getting...
To Huffington. To Uffington.
Perhaps getting Sir Sasha to Uffington, but I think we might want to make sure we prevent some of these supplies from reaching the city. Doesn't seem the best plan to just allow them to stock up everything behind those walls.
You speak wise words, sir.
Yeah, like, how many peasants are we going to be able to stop from getting there, though?
Take some back to the county. The Countess Ellen would be quite grateful, I'm certain.
I say we, as we ride along the road, we have our forces essentially instruct any peasants going the other way to turn around and accompany us by us.
Instead of going to Oxford, go to Uffington.
Exactly.
Okay, that works for a little while. Because
Maybe for convincing them, like trying to suggest to them the alternative rather than...
Well,
There's
the way
an
you're
alternative.
doing it, you're having a band of knights basically intercept anyone heading north. And for a while it works because you're just scattering peasants and getting them ahead of you. But after a few hours, discontent starts to grow, and an elderly man comes out of the pack and approaches and says, "Which one of you knights is in charge here?"
I guess I will take command since Sasha's slightly incapacitated, or do you want to still retain it?
No,
Sasha?
I'm not in my right mind.
Alright, so he's old white hair. He's wearing like one of those straw hats. He's walking with the stick crouched over. Hard to see his face, you know, because you're on a horse and he's down here, and he's just like, "Now, you're the one in charge then."
I am. And who might you be?
And so he like rolls up what's left of a tattered shirt. He's just got like a vest and like a white shirt under it. The shirt's falling apart. He says, "Name's Willem. Farmed this land for generations. My father did, his grandfather, my son does, and one day his son will too. Well, who are you to tell us that we can't go to Oxford? I've answered the call of Oxford for over 30 years, ever since I became a man."
The Lord of Oxford is currently the claimant in charge of Oxford is currently in revolt against his rightful lord, and therefore...
You knights! You believe whatever you want to believe. To us peasants, whoever sits in the throne is the one that's in charge. Now, just because all of your mucky-muck leaders all got killed doesn't mean you can tell me any differently. Now, you get out of the way. I'm riding on the King's Road to Oxford, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
There's quite a bit I can do to stop you.
There's nothing you will do to stop me.
So he starts like hitting your horse with his stick, and he's like, now get out of the way. I and my wagon and my family, we're going to Oxford.
I think I'm completely within my legal rights, and not in terms of the period, I'm not immoral in striking him down.
Perhaps.
Remember, this
you
is
seem
no
to
longer
believe
tutorial.
so. You seem to believe so, yeah.
I don't want to kill the guy.
Perhaps you should consult with your fellow knights out of character as to how they believe on the morality of this.
Any suggestions, fellows?
I don't know. I mean, Sasha thinks you should just let him go, but that's not. That'll be like half the people that we've collected at this point if we do.
I mean, we are in a war, and we can't allow them to simply go and assist the enemy.
Well, I just could take their stuff. That's a normal thing for us to do.
All right, you know what? That's the answer. If you want to go down the road to Oxford, you can, but you can't take any of your stuff with you.
Any of your non-essentials.
Are you removing his goods by force?
I think I will have my men-at-arms say if he tries to take anything beyond sort of simple, anything that can be used as supplies for the siege, beyond sort of just his general stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like food for the journey, which is only a little bit.
So, are all of you complicit in this act?
Sasha's not really.
Sir Marcus? Sir Alex default?
I mean, this
Sasha
is
doesn't have a better
as
answer, though. I don't
moral
know
an act as I can do, and I will.
Sir Corin?
Sir Corin agrees with this. This is how to get your enemy to leave their castle.
Did we lose Anosh, by the way? Oh, there you are.
No, I'm here.
All right. How do you feel about this, Sir Default?
Yeah, he's happy to go with whatever his knightly lords agree to.
Of course. Okay. Sir Default and Sir Adewald. Sir Corin, can you all give yourself a check to selfish? As you instruct your men-at-arms to begin unloading this man's stuff, and he begins crying out, "Oh, Lord! Is there no justice from these pagan knights who unload my cargo? You steal from an old man traveling to answer the call of fealty?" He just keeps going on and on about it.
I'm going to strongly dispute this selfish ruling here. I don't see it.
You're literally taking his stuff. It's the complete opposite of generosity.
I'm not taking it for me, though. I am preventing him from giving it to my opponent in a siege. It's completely within the rules of war, and I'm doing the bare minimum possible.
At most, I'd say it's either deceitful or arbitrary.
I would say
it's not deceitful because I'm being completely honest about what I'm doing. It's not arbitrary because I'm
it would be arbitrary if it's not selfish, because this guy is just doing what he's been taught his entire life, which is when your Lord calls,
it doesn't matter what he thinks. It's how my character is doing it. My character, his entire mission here is...
I feel like it might be arbitrary.
I also feel like it might be
It's a little bit better than selfish, at least.
Fine, I'll take arbitrary.
Everyone should take a check in arbitrary, except for Sir Sasha, who was not involved. I was
it doesn't feel very hospitable to me.
Yeah, you begin unloading his stuff. He cries out for justice from God. Everyone on the road begins whispering about the horrible bandit knights who are, removing things. Now, in the process of this...
I make a proclamation that those who go to the aid of the enemies of the Countess will be prevented from delivering supplies under the lawful rules of siege.
I want to remind you, that's great for knights, but the peasants, they're really confused as to what's going on here.
You're going to the person you have sworn fealty has revolted against his lawful lord, therefore you do not owe your bond of loyalty to him.
Do we have somebody that has?
Is there a logic skill? I feel like there might be, but perhaps not. That's a
I
definitely.
think you need to orate that.
Have our
Yeah, I feel like orate.
expert.
Orate's an acceptable choice there.
We have our legal expert with the scholar here.
So yeah, you're going to consult Pertones. Pertones is on a horse in the back, like, oh. Well, you know, I just want to see Oxford. You know, whatever it takes to get there. Yep, all good. We're all good. And then he goes back to mumbling like, Merlin prophecy soon. If you remember, he doesn't actually have very useful skills.